7 o'clock in the morning on the 18th of the 6th, 2022. And as I've been documenting throughout this ordeal of human rights abuses and child harm that has occurred to my missing son, there are individuals that insist on disturbing the peace and that insist on exacerbating their wrongdoings. Now, as I've recollected, there have been damages to my bodily integrity that are quite dangerous, and that is still an issue unresolved. Now, there are doctors that seem to think that they can intercept and interject in a person's personal life and decide to manipulate, utilize, and exploit and develop from a person without even having any shred of consensuality. And that has happened in this ordeal. So I've been treating medical negligence as well. And there's been medical legislation in this country that has occurred, and I did not consent to any of that. Now, there are individuals that are responsible for not only bodily integrity damages and financial exploitation from those financial or those endeavours that they have conducted since I gave birth, and most recently since January 2017, the ordeal of the Tusla Child and Family Agency, without a supervision care order, without an emergency care order, and 2 plain dress guards, as I keep reiterating, arriving at a mother in a personal, private moment, experience of sanity and sobriety, and deciding to just withhold and take a child from a mother. That's abduction. My child is a missing person who's experienced violence from my care. And justifiably, I'm entitled to be very irate and disappointed. I'm a teacher. I've respected other children's lives. And there are disgusting individuals in this circumstance that are disrespecting the Charter for Children. Now, I have a clean track record as an educator. I've been for the betterment of young people's lives. And my child had a perfect upbringing and perfect provisions until the night he was abducted from me. Now, there are people in my privacy, personal space, disturbing the peace, antagonizing me. They're causing disharmony, and they have debts owing to my name personally, and they're living off my work from COVID and recovery. Now, as I've mentioned, for nearly 20 years, I've been in education. And COVID is regarding the area of mental health. Now, there are people mentally disturbed enough. They're mentally disturbed enough to disrespect not only my work and my child and my property and my privacy and my good name and my health and well-being, but they're disturbed enough to actually convince themselves that they're able to come into a personal space, a proximity where they have absolutely no right to be. And they're disturbed enough to think that they're in a position to exacerbate what they've been doing and exacerbate what they have owing. They have been disturbed enough to think they can convince themselves that they are responsible for recovery and COVID, which has come around and about from my work and purpose, and individuals that have intruded upon my work and my purpose, that have been exploiting from damages to my bodily integrity, are liabilities unto themselves. They're a risk unto their own lives, and they have caused harm to an innocent child. And they're anticipating acquisition from my farmland, and that's not safe. So the people that can't mind their own roofs and their own homes and their own children, and that are having an identity issue and that are disturbed enough and demonstrating mental illness and ASBO behaviour, I hope the Department of Justice and the United Nations knows that this is no, at this stage, this is no, this is no possibility for disturbed individuals to be convincing themselves that they have a get out of jail clause. So those disrespecting the legal system and the justice system, I have a clean track record. I'm of recovered and recovery. There are people that have intruded upon my purpose and disrespected that, and they're living off my wealth and expecting to walk onto my farms. And they've disrespected the church. So there's a very dangerous issue going on in Tralee, County Kerry, that individuals think they're going to navigate out of with bad negotiations and bad business and bad deals. Now it's 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm experiencing disturbances of the peace by individuals that aren't legally within remit to be in my proximity. Now I've tolerated a vast amount of offence and I'm waiting for courage and bravery of the individuals that are elected representatives to uphold their obligations and their duties and their functions and their purpose. Now my purpose is a little bit different to an elected representative. My purpose is I'm a royal sacred. So I hope they understand the superficiality of their position, the shallow nature of their offences and their developments from my vast repertoire of work from over 20 years. So there's a very serious matter going on that I'm getting very tired of. And it's quite ignorant of adults to think that they're in a position to step into my position or my property. I must reiterate, my farms are just not safe for any individuals that have offended my child and I and that have debts owing to my name personally. Anybody would know that. Anyone with a shred of common sense. So the issue of doctors that have been developing from damages caused to my body, that's another matter. And those people suffering from identity issue and disturbing the peace and not respecting boundaries really are not safe within the context and premise of the law. Now, those people that think they're above the law, that are breaking the law and that are responsible for damages to my baby boy, and that are of property theft and that have financial debts owing to my name. I really hope the United Nations understands the true nature of this situation. As I've said, there have been racketeers and frauds in this country benefiting from my wealth and work since 2006, and it's now 2022, and only in 2018 their racketeering has come to the fore. And I'm still tolerating the ignorance of individuals that don't know how to do their jobs properly or have the decency, integrity and dignity to respect the Charter for Children and the Declaration of Human Rights. So I'm not comfortable uploading like this at 7 o'clock in the morning. But when there's ignorant behaviours being conducted and disturbers of false reporting and false evidence, defaming my good name, that are responsible already for very dangerous harms, losses and damages. It's not very safe for the church and the faith and the family to be brought into disrepute by individuals that have no common sense or common courtesy. So this is getting quite serious when there's other children in jeopardy. So I hope the guards know that they have obligations to my good name. The medical negligence I'm tolerating is quite dangerous. So the doctors that have been commercialising from damages to an avatar, a royal avatar, I hope those doctors know their debts. And I hope they're aware of the consequence. Because it's not safe owing anybody money. And what I'm owed is quite vast. So I really hope, before it's too late, before there are any more beautiful children put in any harm's way, or any adults risking their own integrity to offend me, and thinking they're walking onto my property while withholding and harming my baby boy, he's no longer a baby boy. He was born in 2015, and he's far from a baby boy, but he's still my baby boy. So those with children that are involved in this fiasco, heads up. It's getting very serious for everybody. 18 Rock Street isn't a walk-in house. This is a mother. I have my big armchair up against my door 24/7. That's how good the role of justice is in society. And justice has been benefiting from my work and living off my wealth. I mean, living off my work and benefiting from my wealth. The state has been benefiting from my wealth of expertise, credentials and achievements. So that chair is up against the door, and there are individuals coming in and around the building and farmland where they have no right to be. And there's a child missing since 2017. Would the United Nations kindly ever address the problems that are being caused? Would NATO address the dirty politics I'm tolerating and the dirty racketeering and fraud that's repeating in the cycle in County Kerry? There was enough with dirty situations going on since before 2018. So United Nations, NATO, you're very much aware of the circumstances. Would you mind addressing what I'm tolerating? There are obligations to my royal bloodline, and there are people benefiting from COVID and recovery. I'm a royal. So there's a little bit of an issue with this kind of a situation going on. It's not safe.